All right, thank you. Hey, everybody. So my name is Mike Powell. I am a security engineer at Corero Network Security. So we are a company that focuses primarily on blocking DDoS attacks. So I'm going to be giving you a talk about the Kraken and an enemy of NOC Efficiency. So when I give you some examples, they'll be from the perspective of blocking DDoS attacks, but these principles can apply to any type of attack or any type of incident that's going on in your network, okay? So I want to talk with you a little bit about an enemy of NOC efficiency, and that is the Kraken. So what does it look like when the Kraken takes over? So this slide, this is not on accident. This is when you have information overload in your NOC. Let's say you have too many alerts happening. You can't see them all. You miss alerts because they're just constantly flowing. This will create unnecessary work for you, and it will cause a slow response. So this is actually something that we struggled with when we were first starting up with our SOC and NOC and blocking DDoS attacks. We were trying to get reports and alerts on everything that happened. So every attack that would come in, we would get alerts, and we would look at them, and we would try and figure out what was going on. But we learned that this was just information overload because many of the alerts that we were getting, there was no action to be taken. There was nothing that needed to be done. And so when the Kraken takes over, kind of like this slide, you can't really see the information very well. You can't see the important bits, okay? Or, worse yet, you might have silence, okay? I'll tell you guys, we do shift at Corero in our NOC where we're watching alerts and we're just seeing what's going on with our customers. And whenever we go an entire shift, which is 8 hours, and we don't get an alert, it's very unnerving because you wonder, okay, what's happening? What's happening that we're not seeing? Is it working? Are we missing alerts? Is something broken? It's very unnerving. And I want to tell you guys about another time that we actually don't get a lot of events or alerts. That's on Mother's Day. Can any of you guys wonder why? So what we figured out, and it's not the case on Father's Day. So on Mother's Day, all the kids, all the gamers, they have to go out for lunch. They have to go out for church and then go out to lunch with their mothers. And I mean, literally, if you look at our graphs and you look over the past 3 years, every day on Mother's Day, there's an extreme downturn in attacks. Okay, so sometimes it's okay to have some silence, and you know why. All right, but if there's silence and you don't know why, that can be very unnerving. Okay, so what is NOC efficiency? So I would argue that at a bottom line, it's getting more out of your resources than you did before, and more what, obviously, and that's going to be customer delight. All right, so that's your customers are happy, they enjoy your products, they're doing what they need to be doing for them. And everybody's happy. And I would add also, even if you work for a NOC or a SOC for an enterprise, and so you're basically just kind of IT for your company or your corporate structure, I would argue that you still have customers, that your corporate employees are your customers. And so you want to make sure that they're happy as well, okay? And so how do you increase this customer delight? So I present to you something necessary at all conference talks. This is my pyramid, all right? So I figured you guys wouldn't let me on if I didn't have at least one. So this is people, process, and tech. So the bottom line of people is you need to hire good people, you need to train them, and you need to trust them, all right? So that is definitely the cornerstone of an efficient NOC. The process, and this is something that we've really tried to do in our NOC, is don't necessarily just create process and then try and force your people to fit that mold, okay? Hire good people, hire highly intelligent people, let them work, let them solve problems, and then see how they do that, okay? And then you build that process around how they naturally work to support them, all right? And to kind of be able to show new people the way that you kind of do things, but still building that process around the way that your actual people work. And the last thing is tech. So I'm going to be talking a little bit with you today primarily on the combination of process and tech. And for our example, we use Splunk, we use Slack. I'm going to talk with you a little bit about how that integrates. Okay, but the tech will support your process, it will support your people. All right, so you're wondering, this all sounds great, but how do I do it? Can I get some concrete examples? So what I would offer to you is, and this is kind of what we do and what we found success in, and that is building customer delight before an event occurs. All right, try and make your customers happy. Not just, they've installed the product and everything's working, so it's okay. We try and go kind of above and beyond so that they have an event that they can hold on to or that they remember, so that when something bad happens, they're already kind of in a good mood, and maybe they're going to be understanding, they're going to be a little more, calm and a little more patient with you, right? The other thing is respond very quickly when events occur. That's first and foremost. Of course, there's bonus points if you can actually let the customer know yourself. And the last is to automate your reporting and show value to the customer. Okay? So the first step that you do that is by freeing up resources to go digging. So the way that we do this is we try to automate day-to-day tasks so that we can go digging in our customer's network and find issues. So I'll give you an example. One is there was some low-level blocks that our product was doing. It was on a VPN connection, and it was something that is not normally, we don't normally block, but it wasn't causing the customer issue. It was just slowing down a VPN connection just a little bit, okay? So it wasn't something that caused them to call us or to say, hey, what's going on? Something's broken. But we found that and we said, hey, we see that this VPN connection it has some blocks on it and it's causing it to slow down. Is this something like, do we need to block this more fully? Do we need to fully allow this? And so doing that digging is what helped us to reach out to that customer, and they said, oh no, that doesn't need to be blocked. We need to let all that through. And so, see, that's something that if all we're doing is responding to alerts and responding to, incidents and things that happen, we don't go find those kinds of things, right? We want to head off problems at the pass. We want to improve our system as we're going along, not just responding. So the other thing is you need to really reduce the number of alerts that you have. And I'll say this, maybe multiple times. An alert that is not actionable is an alert that should not have happened. That should have been a report, okay? So alerts are not there to give you information that's just good for you to know. Alerts are there to give you something that you need to actually work on. So this is an example of an alert. I don't think you can see it very well, but I'll kind of tell you what's in it. So this is a Splunk alert. It's a DDoS attack. And so I can see the server that this attack was to. I can see the packets per second. I can see the megabit. I can see the dip, which I've covered up there. And I can see, okay, this was a fragmented reflective DNS attack. This was an LDAP attack as well mixed in. I can see the rules that we're firing. We fired Corero Rule 1045. We fired Corero Rule 2069. So I can see that's going on. I can see unblocked Sflow and blocked Sflow. So I can see, okay, we're blocking about this percentage of the traffic that's going to that destination IP. Okay, is that good? Is that not good? And so I can begin to kind of see what's going on, right? So one thing is with your alerts, you need to include information in them. It's more than just, hey, something's going on at this server. We're not really sure what, and you just need to go look at it. No, if you have this kind of information, your SOC person can know more quickly where they need to go looking. So as far as responding more quickly, what we've done for that is we've integrated our alerting system with our team communication, all right? So we happen to use Slack. There's a lot of different ones that you can use. But what we do is we have an alerts channel, and everything from all of our customers, we have these alert queries that are running, looking at all of our customers' data, looking for attacks. If there's an attack that was partially mitigated or there might be something that we need to do for that attack, we fire an alert into our Slack channel. So this is actually the same alert that I had on the previous slide. And this is what it looks like in our Slack channel. So you can see the megabits, the PPS that this attack was. I can see it's a fragmented reflective DNS. I can see that it's an LDAP attack, all right? And I can see that, okay, this is the port that it was going to. It was port 40,041, and I can see about half of the Sflow were blocked. So as a NOC engineer, when I get this an alert, I'm already kind of seeing, okay, what's going on? Okay, I have a pretty good idea that this is DNS attack. Okay, about half of it was blocked, so maybe I want to go look at that. Doesn't necessarily mean that this was a unblocked attack, right? So all of that unblocked Sflow could be the good traffic, because I'm sure to some of your IPs that get attacked, they still have good traffic going to them, right? So that's something that I want to take a look at, but I already kind of have an idea, right? And so as a SOC member, my value is using my experience and is using my knowledge to make a decision on this event. And so our alerting system is trying to get me more quickly to my decision point so that I can use my value. My value is not opening up a Splunk bar and typing in queries and getting down to the information. I can do that, but that's not, you know, what I'm paid to do. What I'm paid to do is look at the traffic and make decisions on it. All right? And so I want to show you kind of the next step that we do. I've been pretty happy about this. We've been doing it for about a year now. And that is, in our alerts, we actually have the ability to include links to other pages that can help us to analyze these attacks. All right? And so you can see at the bottom we have a link called SOC dip, BP equals 0, so that's unblocked Sflow. And we also have a flex rule assistant. So as a SOC member, I get this alert. I see kind of what's going on, but I also have links that I can click on to get me more information more quickly. All right? And so I'm going to show you guys the Flex Rule Assistant. This is a page, I'm not sure if you can see everything on there, but this shows me the alert. This shows me blocked Sflow, unblocked Sflow. That's kind of some of the red and the green that you see in the graphs there. But the big key here is at the bottom left, we have something called a Flex Filter Configurator for the CMS. And so our product has, and this is not just our product, but this is just kind of an example of what you can do with analytics and with your queries. This actually shows the filter that you could apply to fully block this traffic. So you can choose, do you want to look at unblocked Sflow? Do you want to use blocked Sflow? Do you want to look at everything? And this is actually, and this is something that's not in our product. This is just something that we made for the SOC for us to use, right? So this is something that we do. And I'm looking at a flex filter that I could put in to block this traffic. So see, now I don't even have to necessarily come up with the filter. Now we're getting to my value point, which is looking at the traffic, analyzing the situation, looking at a solution and deciding, is this the appropriate solution? Is this something that we need to do? All right. Now, perhaps that filter that it created is not quite right. Maybe there's not enough information on there, and I still need to go do a little more digging. So you saw the BP equals 0, and this, I've just blocked out customer data that's on there, but this is just simply, it links to a Splunk search showing unblocked Sflow. So if I need to, as a SOC member, I can go through and I can start digging into the packets. I can start digging into, you know, the SIP dip, you know, the source port, the desk port, all of that information. But again, I didn't have to open up my Splunk. I didn't have to type in a query. I didn't have to do all that. So you can see, if I'm in Slack talking with, you know, with my mates, Andre, for example, right? I'm talking with him, and we get an alert. I can quickly read the alert, and I can be on the Flex Rule Assistant page, or I can be looking at Unblocked Sflow within 10 to 15 seconds. All right, and so that is what we've done to increase our response time. All right. So the last thing that we do is to increase customer happiness. We automate reporting in the SOC. So we have some meetings with customers where, we're going over what's going on in their network and trying to tell them, okay, you got these attacks, you got an attack on Sunday, and this is what happened. But really, the customer needs to know that you're looking over them, that you're kind of watching over, right? That's what the halo is. And they need to know that you're doing things for them, right? And so that's kind of what like a report does. So in here I can see, 30% of my attacks were in the St. Louis market. I had 13% of my attacks in the Atlanta market, that type of thing, all right? So automating reporting is kind of the last step that we do to increase NOC efficiency. So in summary, what we try to do is increase customer delight by freeing up resources to go digging, to build delight ahead of incidents. We try to respond to incidents more quickly using the tools in the process, and we try to automate reporting and value demonstration. And I showed you guys, we kind of do alerting with Splunk and feeding that into our team communication, which is Slack for us, using those APIs, feeding everything together. And so that really is kind of the structure of our increased efficiency for our NOC. All right, so that's the end of the presentation, and I'll open it up to any questions for you guys.
Thank you, Mike. Does anyone have any questions for Mike and Corero about this? No? No questions? Is there anything from the room, from IRC? No? Okay. Well, all right. Thank you very much, Mike.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.